Hello, hello, welcome back to another episode of I Captain of My Ship. Nice that you're back, and today I will share a story about what happened at my work when I was in the week when I had the funeral of my little stillborn nephew, which was really hard time, especially of course for the parents. That's undescribable, but also for me as a parent, as a parent of my own children. I know as auntie of my stillborn nephew that it's awful. So it had quite an impact on me also. But before I will tell my story, what happened, I like to remind you that below the description is the new date of the information workshop about how you can give space for emotions and limits to behavior with children. And I hope to welcome you there and to see you so we can talk a little bit about about this topic. I think that's really, it's gonna be really nice to talk about and learn more about the subject. Okay, then now my story. My story. Well, first we go back to the week that I heard the news that my little brother and his wife were expecting a stillborn baby. That Monday morning would be my third week of my new interim assignment. So I had just started to work there, and I love my work, love my colleagues. But it was also, especially with this news, hard for me. Like, ooh, how will I do this? I will just focus on my work and not talk about my private life. That's what I decided. So that would help me to move through the week. So work is work, and then I have my private life. So that was how I would just separate those two. So that Monday morning, I stepped into my professional shoes. That's how I always name it. That's my professional shoes. Okay, now I moved to work. So I started to work, and then we of course had the meeting, the start of the week, and I wanted to tell that I had a funeral. I had to tell because I didn't know how the week would go. Of course, what day of the week we would have the funeral. It was all a mystery at that moment. Of course, it was some day in that week I would have the funeral of my nephew, and I was for sure not gonna miss that one. So I said at the start of that week, all I said was, okay, someone passed this last weekend, and so that means that I will have funeral this week. I don't know yet what day, but I will let you know so that I can change my hours and I work a little bit more on that day, and maybe I can change my day off someday this week. So okay, so they were informed. I didn't say anything of what happened for the rest, and no one asked for it. Then later that week, a few days later, the HR director came to me and she said, "You talked about the funeral. Can I ask you who it is?" And then I was like, "Yes, of course. It's my stillborn nephew." And I told her, and she was like, "Oh, that's sad. So sorry for you. It must have quite an impact." And she was really nice, really good. And but then what happened with me, because when I go to work, I step into my professional shoes, and then I shut out my private life. But now that it was coming into my professional life, I started to have these emotions of emptiness and sadness coming through my body. And I was like, oh, it's good to talk about, but it's also not good to talk about because I start to feel those emotions again. And that was not the plan, because there's a lot of things on my schedule. I have to work today, so I'm not planning to take a day off, because I need a day for the funeral later on this week. So it's not possible for me to take a day off right now. So I was struggling with those emotions, and she saw it, and she was on Teams. We were having a chat through Teams while I was at the office, and she said, "It's not going well with you," and I just started crying. No, it's just not good with me right now. I really tried to start. I've been trying so hard to be professional and do my work. She said, "Yes, you're doing a great job, but at this moment, you're not too good." And no, at this moment right now, now that you ask, it's getting mixed. My private and my professional life is getting mixed, and that's a little bit hard for me. That's right. I said, "Do you need some time?" Because we had many things on the agenda to discuss. And I said, "Yes, I really need some time now. I will get some tea and just walk a little bit. I need some time, and I will call you back in a few minutes. I'll be back." And then it was, then our conversation ended, and I would call her back in a few minutes. So I thought I had these emotions coming up of all the sadness, and I said, "Oh, how do I handle this? How do I handle this? What do I do? How do I handle this? I want to make this day work. How do I step into my professional shoes again?" I want to step into my professional shoes. I want it from my life and my body, but it's hard. And then, I was just there in the office. The tears were coming down my cheeks, and I was like, oh, this is not helping. I was just getting deeper and deeper into the sadness instead of stepping into my professional shoes. So I was struggling. No, I don't want this. No, no, no. So I'm starting to push it away instead of welcoming it. Say, "Welcome, okay, it's there, give it a place." I was starting to push it away because I wanted to get into my professional shoes. I don't want it. It's not welcome right now. Push it away, push it away. And what I said in my grief, I just had my hands above my head and started to say, "Why?" And then I collapsed. I was just collapsing into myself because it was the wrong question to ask. I found out later, of course. I remembered quite quickly. I was like, "Oh, that was the wrong question." So I was making myself small to the ground, and I was so feeling overwhelmed of all these emotions of sadness. And I was sitting in the office, I was all alone, and all I could cry out was, "I need help! How do I get out of this, God? Help me!" And then a colleague would enter the room. And when he entered the room, I immediately stood up. I changed my state. Immediately stood up to talk. And he saw that I was crying, and he saw that I was not feeling too well. But he didn't say anything about it. He just said, he just asked his questions. He had some questions to ask. And while he was asking those questions, I said to myself, "Okay, let's come here in the here and now. I can do this. I can handle this. I will step into my professional shoes. There are people here to help who need my help. I can do this. I handle this." And then I started to focus on my colleague and on the problem that he was talking about. And so I started to change my state, started to focus on my colleague, and then I started to change my language in my head. I started to tell myself, "I can handle this. See, I can step into my professional shoes. I can step into the here and now. I can handle this." I started to squeeze my hands. "See, I'm here and now. I'm here. Yes, I'm here again." I can do this. I started to take a deep breath. And then I was able to step into my professional shoes. Yes, I also had to get out of my office and had to get some tea. I don't drink coffee, so I had to get out and drink some tea and just to walk around a little bit. It's like, yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm in my professional shoes again. Yes, I can handle this day again. Yes, I can move forward. I have this again. So it was okay to feel these emotions, and I promised myself I will look at it at a later time this day, but not now. I want to move on with my day as planned as a professional. Um, I'm a professional HR business partner, so I'm just there to help people, to help the company, and I wanted to complete my task for that day. So that was what I did to come back. And it was hard, it was not easy, but it was worth it. It helped me to uh, get on with my day and have the things that were planned being done, because there was so much things going on. I wanted to be part of that also. So, yes, that's what I did. Again, here is what I did. Here is a triangle I discussed the last time, but I will add one more thing this time. Here's the triangle of changing your state. Because I was in that state of feeling so sad. I was just collapsed, and that's sadness. What did I do? Here's the triangle again to change your state. First of all, I changed my physiology. I was making myself small, sitting down like a child crying. So I changed my state. I stood up and straightened my back. Changed my state, my physiology. And then what I did, I started to focus on my colleague. That was the second step in the triangle. I started to focus not on my own grief and my own sadness and my own feelings. I started to focus on my colleague, on my work that had to be done. And then I changed my language. How was I talking? What was I listening to? I was listening to my colleague, and I was responding, and I was telling myself I could do that I was here and now, and that I could handle this. And yes, what do I want to add to this? It was so hard for me in that moment to get out of that. And even though I knew the steps and I knew what to do, it was in that moment of grief that I was not able to even think of that. So all I could do, and this is what I want to add, is cry out for help here. I want to add, you are never alone. And this is something I really want to add, and to that you are aware that there is so much help in our surroundings. Sometimes you can see it. A colleague comes in, a friend comes in, a relative, family member, or whatever is there to help. But sometimes it's also invisible. So, and you can just always count on help and love, and everything around you is there to give you that love. All you have to do is ask, and you will receive. You will receive what you need in that moment. You will know what to ask, what different question you can ask yourself. You will start to remember the steps you can take. Some things can happen in your life when you really need it. So that's what I want you to remember. You are never alone, even though it might feel sometimes that you are all alone. You are not alone. Ask for help and you will receive help. It can be in very various forms, but you will receive it. So I hope you can feel that love, feel that love around you, even though sometimes you feel only emptiness inside. Don't tell me about it. It's just all empty. It is possible to, even in those moments when you don't feel it, ask for help. You will receive it. Okay, I hope this will help you get through the tough and rough moments in life. It is part of life. It's not only joyful, it's also painful moments. It's part of it. And just to recognize is to honor it and ask for help when you need it. Then you will feel that love inside of you. And open up to that. It will help you. Okay, I hope it helped you. Thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you liked it. And then talk to you next time. Bye bye.